Team Secret has. As soon as they're ready for it, they're probably gonna own them, because like they're stepping so far so individually that all Gambit needs to do is just be aware of that and hopefully aim better. You know, it's tough because Team Secret, like, is they're on right now. Their shots are on. So even if you know someone's coming, even if they're alone, if their aim is better than yours, at that moment you're fucking dead. So that's why I'm saying Team Secret should just run with what they got. Just keep playing these solo aggressive plays.
I'm actually giving myself a get out of jail free card. It's that
just fucking fight everything. They might win. They actually might win if they do that. The worrisome thing is if Team Secret starts to lose some rounds and then they lose their confidence and then it all just
as much as this does look like it is
gone.
We're very much looking at this as, wow, this is really impressive from Team Secret, because we haven't seen them on an international stage. Yes, they were good under that Bren banner, but they had some questionable results once they joined Secret.
What do you think's in that cup?
Which cup?
Third party sort of,
there's a cup on the counter. The Red Bull. I
don't
don't think it's Red Bull, dude.
Again, it throws a little bit of doubt in your mind, right? It's like, okay, well, so what are these guys? Again, you know, a lot of people put a bit of
water
on that Berlin event. You know, definitely kept up with it. But you know, you think, but it's Gambit. It'll just get
I mean, a lot of Gambit's younger, right?
Sick, these crazy ideas, and it doesn't happen.
I think so.
So it's probably either water or coffee or no. No, the younger generations are starting to like. They're starting to stray away from like energy drinks, like Red Bulls and Monsters and stuff. They're starting to like try to find healthy alternatives to that, healthier.
Where are you getting this info from?
It's just facts.
Can they come to this and adapt to the playstyle? Because again, Gambit can be a difficult beast to tame.
They're smarter than we are. Wait, you're like, how old are you?
22, going on 23. God, man, where the years go?
Damn, you're kind of old.
I know. Tall and old.
I've had most of my concerns.
I like coffee. Coffee's good.
Whether or not they can carry this across an entire map, again, potentially into the second map, dare I say the third, I'll hold on to that for a little bit.
Yeah, now, again, one of the elements that made Gambit a difficult beast was Nats, and we actually have a little bit of a feature for you, because this tech pause does seem to be taking a little bit of time, so rather than you just sitting here listening to our podcast, let's send it over to a lovely little Nats feature to give you a little bit of a concept.
Oh, God.
What happened?
It's gonna be a long one.
Oh, what is this?
It's gonna be like, oh no, it's gonna be, we're gonna be AFK for 20.
Oh, he's a painter.
No, he's not a painter.
His job's a painter.
No.
It's like his hobby, I guess.
They do these
finger painting.
They do these things that like.
I'm a street artist / nature artist. It sounds so cliche, but just vibing with somebody or another artist.
What the hell's going on?
So they do these bits on individual people, and they basically like have like an interview with that individual to try to learn more about them, and then like a street artist or someone. I don't know if it's like local or where they get them from, but they just do a painting of them. They're actually really good.
That's the painting? That's not a picture? Oh wait, no, that is a picture. He's going off the painting.
Yeah.
Wait. Are you sure?
What?
I think Nats might be a finger painter.
I mean, maybe it's Nats, yeah.
I used to draw good, but if I didn't play Valorant, if I have more free time, maybe I could do some great graffiti, maybe some good painting.
This is awesome. This is so wholesome. You know,
the initial creative experience was I wanted to really translate just what he embodied as a confident, stoic person that kind of doesn't spend all that energy on extra emotion.
Because before we won the match against Team Liquid when we qualified to Berlin, I didn't have any emotions because I'm trying to spend my emotions only in the game, and I think if we lose the champions, it will be the same. Oh, what just happened? We won the tournament. I'm just gonna sit in the chair. Okay.
It was so cool to see this kind of creative individual and how his mind works.
You have to do other things every day, every month, every game. You can't just watch how other players.
Oh, I can just watch.
Steal that for you. You have to do some creative things from you.
What struck me most about Nats was how dedicated and how calculated it is beforehand.
Actually, the most important thing for all of the players, I learned just how much you have to play the game and how you have to spend your time in the game. You have to improve yourself, like the different things. You have to prepare a lot. You have to improve your mind, improve your aim and other things.
So with the piece, I really wanted to leave this figure emerging from water, and what's left behind the water is actually the very unfinished blocked in portion.
Hey, what's up, Eco?
You
want to come to Discord?
I love that about Nats. Is
just me and Sean,
seeing, you know,
not Sean Garrett, Sean BM.
I can't wait to see what else
we're in the
emerges
dojo.
From that.
For me, it's to have the chance to win champions. It's gonna be like a really good story for me then. It's gonna be cool that, you know, my friends, child's gonna read about me, how I was playing the game, what's going on with me. I'm writing the history, I mean, for me.
I wish I was like aesthetically pleasing enough to have artwork. You know what
Sick.
I mean?
Well,
Like
I
how
like a foot,
upsetting.
so they couldn't put me in a video like that. That's for sure.
Imagine that.
That's why we cast, right?
Yeah,
we get about
probably.
7 Actually, no, it was, we get over
Yeah.
the quota.
Yeah,
the
we do.
camera time.
We do. It does seem as though it's resolved. However, you may have noticed we do have the round a little adjusted here, 5-1. That will be replayed. So again, don't worry, guys. It's us casting. I'm surprised everyone was so supportive of us as a duo because they know what happens.
All I'll say is Mitchman tweeted that today was going to be a quick day.
Why has he done that?
Now,
He's such a rat, isn't
I
he?
will be hunting him down.
Absolute rat. Righty.
They lost the round,
5-1.
but it's,
Ignore
I
the
think
bit
it's
to the
still there. It
bottom
just
there.
doesn't look like
That's
it's
a
there.
little bit of a debate, isn't it?
It was 5-2.
However, we are back
is-
underway. Now, Gambit doing somewhat of a similar piece, but it looks a little bit more pacey.
How does that
Yeah,
happen?
you see straight away
That
Wix
happens
is gonna
every time they try to like
operate
rematch,
D4,
like
left
do
side
they
of round.
redo it.
It's looking-
A round's always
That's
lost,
it.
but then it's
Dubstep
still
will find
there
his
at the
pick
end of it.
again.
But Nats was...
Oh, I
Wait, he was a
see.
bit more proactive this time. Nats
Yeah,
was a
it's
little...
5-2. It happens every time.
Okay,
They lose one
this is
round.
where things go different because Nats was pretty
And that
much
makes
the
it
saving
really
grace in the
confusing
back
the whole
line.
half,
However, this
because
time, Team Secret
doesn't
get these
fit.
rotations a little bit better, a little bit quicker, a little
Or
bit
maybe it
more
will. Maybe it'll
prepared.
fix after the round's over.
And Gambit are in pieces. A
Eco's in
6-1.
Discord, by the way.
Oh yeah, I told him to. Yeah.
Wow, I mean, that was, again, a big
Hello,
pace change
Spencer.
from Gambit. Similar sort of execution. Dubstep once again, though. You can see on the
Good
minimap just
morning.
there, I know it was off screen, but when that kick comes through,
Hello,
Nats
hello.
is just on the left side of those barrels. I think he's
Same
not,
thing.
again, without Gambit kind of addressing
better
it, they
shot.
haven't seen really the,
Thank you,
the
man.
2 or 3
Thank
looks
you.
No, I'm
of
talking
Dubstep
about
when
Sean
you come.
Garrett.
Again, all these new
Right.
angles need to be re-explored every time they go somewhere else. Right there, Nats is punished for it. And,
6-1.
I gotta say right there, I think that's probably the catalyst for Gambit to try and force the issue on A, but it doesn't work.
Now, the buy is shoddy, but last time
You
they had
know,
that
I
really
was so
aggressive
tired, I
first
think I
to come out and
forgot.
kind of like cut through
I got
under
no
tube and
sleep
hit
last
that B
night.
side, which,
Today I'm
again,
actually
a similar look, and
awake.
if they're aware of these
I missed this whole round, by
plays,
the way.
they
What the
should
hell
be aware
happened?
of this. However, Redguard does at least get one, so that's going to be entryway towards that B site. Now, there are 2 players who
I
are
looked
pushed
away,
up,
honestly.
though, towards B long, so this isn't clean. This is a really weird fight to be having. Nats with the
Secret
overall, though,
one.
is good enough to at least shut down a Spencer that's now put... Okay, no pressure on Dubstep apparently. There we go, lovely stuff from Gambit. That's what you want to see. Keep it a little safe, keep it a little bit under wraps. But this is the round that they won before, basically.
There's actually Spike making his way all the way over towards A here. Bit of a ruse. Jesse still towards B site, and now Nats and Defo will peel away. Now the important thing is, again, just at the start of this round here, it's kind of the checklist. It's the protocols you look towards for Secret. Again, Jesse joining up. He's there to catch anything coming through mid, and Defo actually ultimately hopping up on top of Tube. Now the problem being, previously with this split, it was a very fast round from Gambit. I want him out of that drone quicker. Again, you can see Redguard finds that opener. What's the value in finding the second tag, right? You're confirming what you already know, which is there's one top tube. By that point, they're already under. So that's something I want to see Secret
could do
address,
that,
but
actually.
it's good to see Jesse in a similar position.
I
but
could
again,
do
running those
that,
same kind of disciplined
actually.
protocols I'm referring to.
Where the fuck is this? Yeah.
It's not out of it yet.
Where the fuck is
53, and
that?
they've got some upgrades. Nats with the big one. First
Just
contact
make a
made,
little bit
still a player
different.
towards the site though, and now we found Shados. Gets at least the rifle as well. Looking to see if Defo gets anything. Just a spectral bow, didn't get any of the other rifles. That aside though, we've seen Gambit convert these. Now, the bigger thing for me is, as much as we have looked at that and gone, okay, well Secret can adjust this way or we prefer to see them like that, how does Gambit then bring that into a gun round? Because I feel like we haven't seen that style really brought through here.
We don't see that pace from Gambit unless they run Inspectors and Sheriffs, or Defo's got the Blade Storm, he's got the Marshal, something like that. So it's
Road,
interesting.
where are
And again,
you?
I think it relies on Secret in terms of these kind of early round objectives. First time we're actually seeing the double up here of Dubstep and Wits over towards A. And the first time we're seeing them at something like that. So
Boy is not on the team anymore, right? That's you know.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, it works out.
Public, so yeah.
Oh yeah, and I heard a rumor about Nitro.
Nitro?
What did you hear?
He's going back to a dead game. Sorry, I'm sorry. That was too much.
But he
Dead?
is-
What's the dead?
Sorry,
game?
I'm sorry.
League of Legends?
League? No, Dota.
They bought the
Really?
limited
Dota?
edition,
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to play
collector's edition.
Dota?
They got all the
Sheesh.
artwork and everything, mate.
Prize
They got
pools
it all.
though. Yeah.
This isn't enough. They now know everything. Oh, it's all been given.
Ooh.
Holy.
Team Secret. They have read every single secret. The Gambit may think they
And he's
have.
gone.
Any card up the sleeve has been ripped down. Is now
Dude,
different.
he's
should've
just
kept going.
he was just so far ahead by himself, and that's how they're getting these dubs, dude. They gotta keep doing it. They gotta keep doing it.
It is, and the problem is that every
God
round
damn
looks like
it.
a new set of obstacles for Gambit to overcome.
Yes.
This is the first time
Oh,
Boku's been
sorry.
called
इसको
upon
छेड़ेंगे
to
तो
play.
सब कुछ बिगड़ जाएगा.
He slips
I did not see that coming,
3 rounds
actually.
ago. Now I'm even more worried, right? We're back again at a
I love it.
5-round
How do these things
deficit.
start?
and
How-
I gotta say, in terms of Gambit, they're unable to kind of just get a firm grip on the early round. Everything they're trying to do, Secret have a different look to show, and
They're a
it's,
step ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels like everything Secret does is tailor-made to absolutely destroy Gambit from within.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
well,
you're
let's
fine.
leave Nats then just kind of solo hold towards that A side.
Oh, you're on
First time we see
my
him push out.
schedule
You
now.
saw how
Yeah.
Welcome
ready
to my
they were
life.
for that little bit of a step up, and there it is. We were asking, right, when is that timeout coming in? Because right now, Team Secret are
Gambit
playing chess and
timeout.
Gambit are playing checkers, as every play-by-play commentator loves to say. But the point is that this has pushed Gambit, and if I'm Gambit, I'm a little shook.
I mean, we actually touched this again previously. Champions, target on your back. There's that kind of
Yep.
preparation factor. Everybody's looking at you, what you're going to do.
And just
But,
disable the fucking
you've
camera
got to then
if I want
question,
to.
the Gambit come into this thinking, have they done a massive amount of research into seeing Secret? And actually,
He ain't a happy
no.
bunny, is he?
Turn it
no.
off.
And again, actually, I was talking to Dash before we had
Yeah.
one of the interviews where it's actually they haven't been happy with their preparation overall. So again, you think about one of those kind of anomaly teams, the kind of unknown entity, and Team Secret I think is a perfect example like that. You haven't really got any international footage to go over. The data sample a little bit questionable because you can
Yeah.
talk about the meta within that region and the
Absolutely.
differences and viability coming across to a different pool of teams. Right here, I mean, the best thing for Secret to do would have been to get off to a good start. They've done absolutely that. Gambit now have to recover. It's almost salvage mode.
It is. And they're going to have to salvage it with a broken economy and probably some tilted players, I'm not going to lie to you. Because mentally you come into this going, okay, well, I expect a good game, but I don't expect to be 7-2 down, right? Like, that's... Look, we say it time and time again, the ground is definitely a heavy burden, but right now it's being just taken away from Gambit. So many teams prior have fallen somewhat like this, though. You look at... So I guess Sentinels is the prime example, something like Heretics. You look across the regions. However, for now, it looks like a quicker lean towards that A site. And once again, a great deal of Secret's players are here on that other side. 3, heavy lean, mid-take, ultimate down. Defo with a quick dismantling, though, as 2 fall in back-to-back succession, as Dispenser is now needed. And Shados
overstep
with
of
a
Shados, yeah.
re-peek on that. They look, I'm going to be honest, they look pissed at this. They look
They do.
angry.
These are tilt peaks. These are kind of, that arrogance kind of comes into it in terms of the play style here. Upstep, operator on rafters. Trying to swing out here, Shados again. Still trying to apply the pressure here. We'll find Jesse. 3 members left of Secret here, and that's 2 snake bites, but actually Defo will fall here. Shados again will find another. See Nats up there on the X-ray. And now I think Gambit going to try and slow things down, but Shados now is 4th on the round, Lauren. Dubstep have to consider saving that operator, but Shados close enough. It could be the ace here. It could be absolutely what the doctor ordered for Gambit. A more comfortable round, but again, nothing special on the way in there. It's almost like we're walking at you. We're walking at you with a drone. There's a recon. Shados is going to walk forward, and a couple of overpeaks, actually, you could argue.
As someone who enjoys Gambit's playstyle, I wish this wasn't an ace that got them the round under the belt. Because how do you address it then going forward? Oh, just do that again.
Yeah, Shados, do you want to walk into A again?
Just ace.
Yeah.
Like, if it gets your players pumped up, if it gets their mentality back, absolutely. But from a tactical aspect, how do you now find repetition in that sort of success? But it is 7-3, and there's been a little bit of a lifeline given across.
Look at the difference now, though. Gambit stacked up as 5. And it's
They
just
found
like,
one thing that works.
Let's swing up belt. Let's see if we can do that again.
They have had success in doing this, but I want to see a quicker address on it, or they play on a heavier retake. Playing in like that towards Gambit is going to give them the gateway to open up to the Kingdom. Chronicle with a quick one towards Dubstep as well. This is looking very likely as Shados is going to be feeling confident enough to lean a bit further forward, make those audio cues and then fall away just a touch. Spike going to be planted, and now down to 3 to try and play it back in.
So yeah, really, if Secret want to entertain this at all, you see Borkum's recovered that operator. I think, yeah, with what we're seeing on the minimap, looking like they might want to retreat away from this. And again, if we can just play back that clip from the Gambit timeout, I think this is the byproduct, right? It's like, guys, get your head in the game.
What are you doing?
Come on, what are you doing? Now, whether or not we see them just lean towards this now, because you've got to expect some sort of adjustment for Secret. Well, actually,
they're really chasing
Borkum's are way closer than you'd hope, actually. Somebody trying to hold on to his operator, but he's not checked upon.
Hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
Genius.
But this is where you expect now Secret. They're the ones that the ball's back in their court, right? They have to address something. If Gambit stack up with 5 again outside A and they just walk onto site, actually you look at it now, 7-5, in terms of how this half has gone, you got to put that as a massive win for Gambit with how this was looking before that timeout.
Yeah. But that's under the assumption that you kind of treat these as 2 equal teams. One of them was a victor of literally one of the last major events. Is this really a good half? I don't know. I mean, that's going to be the thing. Yeah, 7-5 and 8-4 does feel a world apart, but however, they have finally broken a little of the money that was built up by Secret, but I want to see what's addressed here, because it's rinse and repeat. Gambit finds the one trick that works here, but Dubstep is called upon this, and he actually falls away, though. Doesn't overstay, tries to deal with the drone. What do you do about this one now, mate? Because you do have a whole lot of pressure coming your way. You're going to get out of dodge. Probably the right idea, but a slower enough pace for now. That presence might have hindered a little bit that early explosive play from Shados.
You say the right decision, but it's almost cost Gambit nothing to force that player out of sight here. And again, without Dubstep exploring mid, going elsewhere, and again, a lot of things that we credited Secret for previously. Now look at it. We're up to a minute. All 5 members of Gambit towards A. You still got Borkum considering the possibility of a lurk, and actually Dispenser tucked down just at the end of Tube. But again, potentially it's a 5v2 here on A side.
Confirmation all they've really had is Chronicle and I guess Shados in that regard. Now with the ult invested, that does change the dynamic. They need to kind of invest in this, and that's maybe what they have! Oh, Dubstep from up above! Rains hell upon Defo, and now the spike's been denied, at least for the plant. Dispenser plays back in, and they've come and found the pace they needed. Wits holds his nerve, and it's Chronicle all down to you now. What are you doing for us? Ooh! There's fire in Gambit, but Team Secret, they lead on the half.
Which isn't a conversation I thought we'd be having, Lauren. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, this is wild. It's 8-4. I need to catch my breath. Desk, what are your thoughts?
Thank you very much, Pansy. Hypox said it best, not a conversation we thought we'd be having, but here we are. We have to have it. It's Team Secret who's up 8-4 off of the first half here on Icebox. Jess, I'll come to you first, though, because you were the one who called out the few reasons why maybe you take Gambit to Icebox, and Team Secret comes up big with the pistol and throwing a few more rounds quickly after that.
You know what? The first couple of rounds, I can buy them winning them. Like, you know what? Yeah, pistol, okay, etc. Then the third round, I'm like, Gambit's got this. They've got the weaponry they need for this. No, they don't. They also don't have the mental weaponry they needed for that. Did you hear the Team Secret boys? I mean, those of you who are at home might not get the full veracity of the boys sitting on the Team Secret side, but they are loud, they're having fun, and that is a tilter if I'm sitting across the room.
Holy Dispenser, 14-5. This was the player that, like, again, you're sort of comparing him and mostly playing that sensible roll up against Nats. It's more against Red Guy in that Sage position, being able to sort of shut stuff off for the most part. The problem for me for Gambit, though, we saw attack pause, we saw them come back in the last few rounds, but I'm pretty sure the call from Eng was just keep going A, just 5-stack. Like, the default wasn't working, and there also might be an element of don't show too much. We should be able to just diff these teams anyway because we're Gambit. So maybe that's why they started to just deathball it a little bit onto that A side.
Right, they got the 1-round win on B early in the half, and then from there it just seemed like we got to take the op shots, we got to take the peaks and hope to win the gunfights. But that's not a super, affirming thing to see out of your tournament favorite, or one of the tournament favorites.
You know what? If I was a coach right now, I would have sat there and gone through that VOD if that had been the most recent Icebox VOD, and I'm counter-stratting Gambit, and I'm sitting there going, all they could do is hold hands, run into A, and hope that their utility and gun power is going to overwhelm Team Secret. That is the only thing that has worked. Imagine you're a team and your one adaptation is to just do that. I mean, there's got to be more in the book here for Gambit.
Yeah, it's only one half. There's still a lot of runway to go. They were able to, kind of scrape it back to 8-4, and it was Shados coming up with that ace. I'm glad we called him out in the pre-match there as being an integral member to this team's success. But again, there are a lot of questions now that continue to be raised about this Gambit squad as Team Secret really brings it here in the first half of Icebox. With that, Pansy, I hope you got that breath you needed, because we're tossing it straight back to you to dive right in.
Just about. I mean, 8-4. I'm not gonna. I don't know when I can start believing. I've been beaten too much by, like, I don't know, Reddit, Twitch chat. I don't know where it's come from. I mean, I'm nervous to believe Hypop.
People call us regionally biased, but actually we're the ones that have been disappointed the most within our region in terms of expectations.
All right. Well, look, the expectation, I don't know, managed or not, it's Wits to start it off with a bang. Already gonna get that first pick, and that's gonna be Shados. Pretty much dealt with him. What a player to find.
Especially with the last few rounds he had on attack as well. Dispenser actually going to throw up the wall here. It's going to split Defo away. Ooh! Again, actually, Defo finds both here. Find a third. He's going to re-explore towards B main. Actually will find it.
Yeah, this man's on a mission, and if it ain't going to be Shados, it'll be him. Defo's still going to be doing what he can. He's got the boys by his side. Do they overdo this? No, not for now. It is just Dubstep left in, what, a 1v3 Spike down basically in Narnia. He's going to have to find a wardrobe to just jump through or something at this point. And already the Aldrone, can he dip around it? Let's see if he can do some dodge. Yes, beautiful. Oh. There we go. It was a lovely attempt. And now there's a whole lot of players looking your way. Gambit strike back hard in the first round, thanks to pretty much one man at the very beginning there.
Again here, I think it's difficult for Secret to, with how those last few rounds went, it's difficult for Secret to kind of, I guess, have expectations of how Gambit are going to approach the first few rounds here, but in my eyes, I'm looking towards Gambit to not necessarily be aggressive, at least be proactive, right? Be ready to stand toe-to-toe with Secret if they do try and play pretty aggressively here. Actually, just seeing Dubstep will throw something in here. Wits for the shot. Sheriff as well, sorry. Two members once again from Gambit. Now, it's important for me, again, to see a team on attack, on Icebox in particular, address B in these early rounds, right? At least plant the seeds that, don't leave open. Don't leave one player out on B site on an island. At least a good indication here from Secret. Whether or not they can get anything done, we'll have to wait and see.
If anything, I do think we can walk away with this saying I like the theory crafting that Secret come in with. Their approach is actually quite nice, well-rounded. However, Gambit look fired up. They're starting to find a little bit more to bring to the plate already, though. It's going to be Defo and Shados. Shados gets that first contact, going to confirm attendance. Defo catches Dubstep, and this is going to be comfortable for them so far. Bear in mind, it's classics, and I think maybe a Sheriff and a Marshall is it. So nothing too much to worry about. Gambit, though, will be happy with this, as this should be time for them to just close that gap. Get back in the game, start feeling the game out. You don't have to rush it, but you do want to close that gap.
Absolutely, and these are the ones that ultimately want to make it comfortable. Not so comfortable, but it will only be one more, and that's will fall, but 3 stand for Gambit. Defo, decent progress already towards that blade. Whether or not going to see a play towards that A orb. Get that online here, potentially throw the Bulldog across. It looks like he's considering that. But a nice round from him nonetheless.
And Defo's coming in pretty nice at this point, actually. A couple of rounds, right?
Yeah, and again, another player that I think we've seen a stark contrast online versus Land. Masters Berlin.
Absolutely.
He was insane. I think
look,
actually,
I was a doubter. I'm going to be honest.
I was probably his biggest critic in terms of their online performances, but absolutely squashed that last time.
Yep.
So Gambit try and ride through here.
Heck, this is dangerous. Nats gets beheaded, and now they could springboard off this, but they actually don't. They hit the brakes for a second. I think they identified a second, which would have been Redgar, who's going to slip away towards a deeper part of that B side.
Interesting, actually, the orb wasn't retrieved from A before Defo and Shados hit this rotation, so cautious that Secret were spread a little thin here, but Dubstep find Redgar as well. Again, at this point, just look for Gambit to do some damage. Remove some of these weapons.
Assault rifles, if they can do something to do that, that'd be pretty dreamy at this point. Obviously, you're looking for normally like 3 to kind of force that reinvestment to be a little bit more labored, but at this point, you'll take anything you can get. For now, tap on the spike is the beginner. No one massively swinging off the back. They can kind of maybe hazard a guess that it's not going to be stuck at this point. Dubstep waits. There it is. There's one in unison with the other. Maybe didn't need that overstep there, but it will be 4 alive. Spike down. 1 rifle lost, but it's not the end of the world as Dubstep's pretty close to the blade storm anyway, so he's going to be building that money through.
And another round where I think it's going to keep Gambit in check on B, right? Nat's picked off pretty much off the rip there. Redgar a little bit split from him whether or not they both want to kind of challenge B main with that utility dump at the start, but again, it's these early rounds where you've got to plant the seed that you can't lean towards A unless you find that information. Like I said, what I was crediting Secret for in the early rounds of their defense, you know, Dubstep swinging up on the top of the tube.
Yeah.
Again, just taking a peek to see the setup. Scratching the surface at least.
And here we go. This is the round that really can kind of set things off, and Defo's going to do it well. Going to find Dubstep and then fall back, force the res. And already they're still trying to work forward on the Shados as well. Right there, he's not backing away. He is not being passive on this. He wants the fight, and they're going to just falter for a second. Takes one, backs it, but it's Wits with the trade. That's now up, lost in the sight as well. Shados, he's actually going to spin up towards heaven. He wants to get there quick, but there's a player lingering just down below. Going to take that space and take site control. Spike should be able to be planted. I don't think anything's going to deny that now. And now we're in the post plant.
Actually, you got 2 members of Gambit actually walking towards the back lines here. Redgar and Nats potentially challenge Dubstep in his position, but he finds the first headshot now. Redgar solo HP.
Look at the damage on him. Dubstep did so much on the first peak. The second almost felt like a given. Shados and Chronicles 5 HP. Get out of there. You know you're going to have to. 5 HP is not enough to be lingering around on you. You want to keep these rifles. You want to give yourself the best chance going forward. He needs to quietly back away to not give away audio cues or anything else. But, well, can we just take a second to appreciate this? Team Secret just went, do you remember those A hits you were doing to us? Mate, we can do them too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the difference being, again, it's that double duelist setup on the side of Gambit, so it's...
Wait, they've lost both of the rifles.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's getting a little awkward in here. I'm going to be
double
honest.
digits. All right, it's time to believe.
The big thing here, again, that double duelist setup, they have to find first blood, right? They have to take first contact. They find it with the operator there. In a round like this, again, you can't really argue that Secret can repeat this over and over because they had the res here. They forced Defo off that initial angle, right? Which is the scariest in any round.
That is.
In any round, it's where's that operator? You find it? Okay, cool. The emphasis then becomes on where's Shados playing. Because actually, 4 people swing on Shados. Defo's only good for 1 trade, right? He can become overwhelmed.
Another timeout. Second now brought in here.
Can we cut to a coach cam real quick, actually?
Yeah, please, because that man is going to be sweating bullets at the moment. Because how do you address this, though? Because they've now found it so hard. Like, what? Even in the prior time when we were looking at it on the flip side, right? When Gambit were running those hits, it's hard to kind of address that, right?
And I got to say as well, the only real misstep I've seen on the side of Gambit was that Nat's first blood. Secret are just playing this right.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've approached absolutely every single one of these rounds. Again, you could argue the first with Dubstep being a little disconnected, maybe the one to try and sell something on A site in that pistol, but everything else, Secret, like I said, they've been the ones to set the precedent, be in the driving seat, and Gambit unable to respond.
Oh, here we go. Could it be the day of upsets, right? Because if you look at the matches, and you know what?
I don't want to talk about upsets when I look at the rest of the day.
No.
I don't want to talk about that.
Look. I was a little... I don't know. Maybe I was not believing, right? I think Bren was like, which upset's going to happen? The Gambit one. Yeah, I think Sentinels. Yeah, I think Liquid, right? You got a couple of big dogs today against arguably underdogs, right? Yeah.
It's an interesting day, but I think it's the potential to have the most upsets.
All right, and off the rip already, Gambit going to try and get a little proactive here, see if they can do something about this. But look who's waiting on the other side. Here's the firing squad. Defo up above, going to get one, dips away. No more coming through, though. No one's been able to capitalize with him. This is all one side, and it's all going by the wayside. As Nats now, the overnight superstar, is going to have to back away and readdress, because this is going to be 11 no matter which way you want to cut it.
Again, take from this round what you will, but this is when I start getting kind of frustrated watching Gambit, because this isn't their comfort zone, right?
Nope.
Again, whether this is just a... Again, push Secret. Keep them a little bit more honest in the early round. Entirely sure, but Nats won't even find another one. 4 survive. Secret now, 11 rounds. Gambit on 6. Things I thought I'd never say. I'm here for it though.
Oh no, we're living.
Secret are, like I said, they're leaving an impression already. Like I said, even if they don't come away and win this series already, there are so many positives to take away from this.
It's truly, as much as saying, you know, it's like at the start we were saying, fairy tales don't always come true. We love the idea of it. The underdog comes in, makes this huge impression, but it doesn't always work out. But they've actually done it.
Don't ask me about the veto. Let's just.
Let's get back to it. 11-6. We are right back into this, and Jesse is about to try and take on the likes of Shados, who's just been trying to play this corner. We've seen hot and cold performances from him already. Sometimes maybe a little over peak, maybe a little bit too overzealous, but right now he is needed.
But again, though, the adjustment here, Redgar's here to kind of slow down these hits from Secret, but it's not going to do anything. No, Shados and Redgar fall immediately.
Michael, what are you doing? Oh, okay, he's doing that. Takes one and now slips away into the night. Tries to back away and not overstep. I got a little worried if he was on his own trying to make moves, but the spike's going down. Can't deny it. And now into the post-plant 3v3.
Spencer here, have a little peek through, and actually will find it. Secret are just hitting everything right now. Therefore, on the way back in, we'll find Wits. 2v2 presented here.
Nats on the drop down, clears below, but not completely. Does find Spencer, tries to find the next step, but Jesse playing to just deny this step out. Does spot at least one. Finds Defo now knows what's up. Again, get your gun out, Jesse. Here we go. It's 12 on the board. Team Secret tearing down Gambit. I'm ready. I'm all aboard the Team Secret train. Let's get going. Dubstep, Dispenser, they've all played their game perfectly. I can't actually question what they're doing here.
You can't, and actually on the flip side of that, like I said, Gambit, they make this adjustment here. They try and send Redgar over, swapping out Defo towards B, potentially towards mid elsewhere. Jesse comes up huge to the Red Bull clutch, but I mean, Gambit, like I said, they're struggling to respond, and it's not as if they're bone idle, they're trying things.
Look at the buy, it's absolute garbage, and already it's gonna be Chronicle now lost, down to 4 standing, and Gambit are gonna be in pieces after this. This is a group stage. This was meant to be maybe a little difficult, maybe a couple of rounds, but you weren't meant to be.
This was supposed to be.
A little lead on, and look at this approach. Look at what we're seeing coming out of Secret. It's passive, it's patient, and it's a slow build towards A, but look at the rest. They are literally doing a Nats.
Dare I say, they're doing what Gambit do best.
This is literally what I have seen. We've time and time again, we have seen this sort of thing.
And look at it, Gambit, almost about to entertain it. You can see Redgar gets curious in mid. Secret will stack up now, leave Dubstep a little disconnected. Actually, looks like he will regroup. I thought potential for him to go down mid, but B-side wide open right now. No Viper utility committed on the side of Borkum, so they have the opportunity here. Just cut and dry piece towards B. Nat's still alive, one away from the Viper's pit now. Reactionary ultimate potential here if he can find this first kill.
30 seconds left.
See here if he's checked upon.
Ult invested. Shados on top. Gets a fight, loses it. Dubstep gets him. We're down to 3. Spike goes in. First fight comes out. Nat's going to pick up the pace. Going to pick up 2 bodies on the way as well, but loses his life. Rez now invested as well, coming out from Dispenser. Going to get that Viper back on their feet, but now we do have a little bit of a scrappy battle, to say the least. Defo and Redgar, what can you do, though, to break those back lines, to get back into this one? That spike is ticking away as Redgar going to lean a little further forward. Does isolate Dispenser, forces the swing out of 1. Trade comes out. It's going to be down to just Jesse again, up against Defo. But the spike, the time is still so favorable here towards Secret. Time being bought, players being toyed with. Jesse, all he's got to do is play this correctly. Backs away, buys some time. He's breaking Defo's heart. He can't do anything about it. He knows it's done. Give it up. Game 1, map 1. Team Secret off to an incredible start.
I'm at a loss here for words. Going to try and get ahead of the curve here. We'll find a kill as well. Chronicle will fall.
Lovely timing with the drone coming out as well, just working in unison, and Wits is putting on a show already, down to Defo and Redgar. Spike is down, but so is the defuse coming in halfway, now achieved! Jesse on the swing, and Redgar, he ain't... Okay. Map 1. It happened. How you feeling?
I mean, I started there by saying I was at a loss for words.
Yeah?
I think that probably sums it up best, Lauren, to be honest with you.
Okay. I'm all aboard the underdog story, and I loved everything that Team Secret did. And I can't just say this was an underperformance so far by Gambit. This was actually an exceedingly good performance by Secret as well on this map. Now, map veto-wise, this was Secret's choice, and it looked like they were incredibly well prepared.
Yeah, I think as well, we lean back towards the kind of those preparation factors. I think Secret demonstrated from the get-go a fantastic read of what Gambit were expecting to do, hoping to do, and they brought everything to the table. They shut down a couple of the key components to Gambit's success so early on that I kept coming back to that. Gambit unable to respond, unable to find answers.
No, you're absolutely spot on. Jesse, highlight for me at the end there, really closing things down, keeping composure at the very end, and you saw that Shados Defo, they tried. Nats was a little quiet, a couple of the others having some issues on this one. For now, I guess the question then goes, Breeze. Would I put Gambit's group stage in this? It's not the end of the world. I still think Gambit should be fine in this group. But Breeze and Bind definitely raise an eyebrow, I think, is the big point here to be had. I'm so lost for words, honestly. Let's get out of here, because I need to go over the notes, because now we actually have a real series on our hands. Breeze and Bind coming up in a moment's time. But before we get there, we'll have the desk and a couple of breaks, so do stick around.
Here's a question. Whoa, how fast was that serve? Are you taking an ECG here? And why are you checking your blood oxygen level? Oh, there's your answer.
Oh.
Welcome back to Valorant Champions, where Team Secret has shocked us all in map number 1. If I had any paper notes, I would throw them out the window. Not willing to shatter. Thank you very much. There they go. Because who knows what to expect anymore at this point. Team Secret, 13-6 victory. That's not close. That's not a nail-biter of a map.
Nope, not at all. You know what? We can do something, boys. Ready?
Okay.
Right hand up, left hand up. Bow to our new supremacy.
There you go.
Got him.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because we saw Gambit beating Vision Strikers on Icebox in Berlin. Vision Strikers look the best. Team Secret are the best team on Icebox. That is a fact at this point. It's the pecking order.
I mean, what an incredible display out of them. I mean, again, we already went through that first half, the 8-4, you know, the small claw back that Gambit was able to mount. And then we said, all right, switching halves, let's see what they can get done. Winning the pistol, winning the bonus. But then from there, it was a clean sweep.
It was just the fact that Team Secret, before this tournament, was a play map for them. Like, they didn't ban it, but they didn't necessarily pick it. They brought it in, and you could sort of see why. It's not a map that you typically see a lot when it comes to agent changes, but it's a great stress test of a map when it comes to, like, protocols.
And
you have to play a certain style.
Dubstep, popping off, top fragger for the team. Beautiful
You know what?
to see.
All that was going on in the back of my mind, bangarang. The entire time I was like, bang, 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 you're dead. My name's Dubstep, get out of the way.
Right? And we had talked about how for Gambit, it kind of felt like the strategy was very much about group is 5, try and win the peaks, try and win those first, you know, those first bloods, those first gun battles. But when you've got a player like Dubstep firing off in the way he does, you don't stand a chance.
I think everybody just had a great side for Team Secret. Like Jesse Vash just having those like Hiko-esque clutch moments towards the end. And also Wits just finding so many early entries. It just seemed from the get-go, Gambit was thrown off kilter, and the whole game plan, it was on your card, you threw it, and it was just out the window.
We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more in just a moment, but we're going to throw it over to Bala, who I hope has made some sense of how that map actually broke down. Bala, take it away.
Absolutely, our first major upset here at Champions, and I couldn't be more thrilled because, honestly, the clips that I've chosen are, you know, it was definitely a team effort for Team Secret, but I wanted to focus on one player in particular, Jesse Vash, because he was somebody I was prepared to start criticizing heading into this game, but he impressed me the most. So let's go ahead and start right off with the pistol round. And all Silva mains need to be paying attention to how he plays on Icebox because it was fantastic. The first thing I want to point out is the way that he drones. He gets the tag and then he ducks it back down so it cannot be broken for a second, or for this second tag that he goes for. And that helps Wits swing from the side. If I look into the mini-map right here, he swings in from the side with the drone to take out the other two players, finds the Reyna once again, and that was the cover for the planter. So look at it from Wits' perspective, no cover for Chronicle, and now they know where that last player is as Shadows is actually trying to deal with the drone. So now second clip, this is something that Gambit actually does a lot. Defo has been dashing. Once again, let me go to the mini-map. Defo has been dashing from mid directly on top of the tube, and that's where his Sage player is actually laying in wait. So Jesse Vash has something prepared, a dart to only really focus on the bottom of mid, and it finds Defo. He could be spammed, he could be Guardian, just like we saw there. Now another thing, a double shock dart. The first one did miss up at the top right here, but that's okay, because it doesn't really matter if the second one misses anyways. If Redgar had gone to peak, he would be met with not only the Viper Wall Decay, but also a Viper Molly on the other side of this. So let's go ahead and roll. Look what this gives them. Because of the combined utility of all of the Team Secret side, they get an orb for free. And then I have another clip here that just shows off the presence of mind with his ulting. You saw him just there tag and actually mark where he wants to ult as the player's falling back. But first things first, he does this off of a trigger, not from just the recon bolt, but okay, the spike plant as well. So he tries to go for the second, but then repositions it perfectly to get one tag on elevation. And that's something that you really have to be wary of as Silva players, is get these last final things. And he did start to turn up in the frag department again. And I wanted to show one more impactful thing. Again, we already saw the drone, but this time you really, really see the benefits. Tags the jet, that's one. And because he tucks it back, because he waits for this, he's actually holding space. Tags another player. And because of that, goes and gets the shock dart. Denies the space. Sage, which is over here, Redgar, cannot fall back even further. He has to wait for the shock dart to land, and that gives Jesse Vash another free kill. So that's exactly the type of thing I think Team Secret was very, very good at the entire time. And I want to see if it continues on Breeze, which should be a map that Jesse Vash can have impact on again.
Thank you so much, Ball. A breakdown of the util usage out of Team Secret, and it's almost making me eat some of my words from the top of the day. When we were teeing up this team, I was like, this is the explosive team. This is the team that's going to come in fast, hit hard, things like that. But really, in some senses, they were the more patient. They were the slower team in this first map.
Yeah, and even though they were a little bit slow, a little bit patient in rounds, when they did get to the kick, oh god, it was fast. They knew what they wanted to do. They were confident with it. And I think that just goes to show Team Secret, they picked Icebox for a reason. I want to see how that goes down on Breeze, though.
So now the question becomes, what does the recovery look like for Gambit if it's going to happen? We're actually going to take a look in at the aim lab pre-match shoot-around. We've got no one else to look at but Redgar, the leader for the squad when it comes to Gambit, right? How do you find your rhythm? How do you get back into it, both mentally as well as mechanically? Because that's the thing, right? If Gambit's going to rely on winning those gunfights, it's got to start here in the warm-up. But Ryan, as we move to Breeze and we start to think about what it's going to take, it is Gambit's map choice, so you got to believe they've got something up their sleeves. But who are you looking at, or what's the strat? What was failing in map 1 that maybe they can recover from here in map number 2?
I think it was a case of their fundamentals being really off. You get credit to Team Secret. They didn't come in with like a cheesy strategy. They weren't playing like Hypoc highlighted one and done angles. They weren't being ratty. They were just diffing Gambit when it came to map control and stuff like that. Breeze is similar in that aspect. And again, you're not going to see like crazy agent changes. But the fact that Gambit didn't really play this map all that often to picking it, it's kind of similar to what we saw with Team Secret with Icebox. It's almost like a glow up. You sort of expect that from Gambit. Otherwise, this group is wide open.
I know we just had that shoot around there from Aim Lab, and I wanted to poke a little bit of fun, you know, because we're on the Team Secret copium at the moment, is that Redgar actually was speaking about Dispenser before being the Battle Sage. Redgar was the lowest rated player in the entire 10-man lobby just there by far, so if anyone needs a shoot around from Aim Lab, it's your man Redgar at the moment, unfortunately.
There you have it. I mean, you're going to call him out. Again, he's the leader of the squad. So often I'm looking at him for the energy, looking at him to pull the team up, to lift them up as we dive in to map number 2. It's Breeze. It's Team Secret starting out on the defending side. Gambit looking to attack. And if anything, that makes me excited because I want to see Gambit come out with some real attacking strategies here. We kind of criticized them a bit for the way they approached the attacking side on Icebox, only finding 1 round win on B, the other 3 coming on A, but really almost seeming to come out of the 5 stack and, you know, just hope to cram it through.
And that's a scary thing to try and attempt to do on Breeze as well. Like, it depends on the setups for Team Secret, whatever they want to sort of play. Jesse Fash is likely going to be going head-to-head on this overall with Redgar, so that's even more pressure to deal with. But at least it sort of takes Redgar in a more supporting position, not trying to battle Sage like we saw at Dispenser, right? Like, he can play a bit farther back. Everybody else from Team Secret is firing. This is where he could come alive again.
It's funny as well because we had that mirror matchup in map number 1. Guess what I'm expecting in map number 2? I'm expecting another mirror matchup, and if you're a Team Secret fan, you're hoping for another mirror matchup on the scoreline as well because that was good.
Very true. Very, very true. And we'll find out soon enough as we get ready to dive into the Prime Gaming Agents Select. You expect those Vipers to come out. You already called out Nats as, you know, possibly a top performer on the team and will need to be on this map playing that kind of a role for his squad. And while the expectation might be a mirror matchup, this is where I wonder, when you find yourself immediately on the back foot as Gambit, where we said, hey, they're probably not going to show a whole lot on day number 1. Are you starting to rethink that? Are you starting to think, uh-oh, maybe they are going to have to pull out something a little unique and interesting?
Yeah, the big battle for me is always just the mental from Gambit, because we saw Gambit magic in Icebox, like Shados's ace. Chronicle had some really nice kills, but it was few and far between, and Pansy highlighted how often can you rely on Shados just getting an ace in a round? Everybody needs to sort of pull it up, so I think the strategies are always going to be there for Gambit. It's never a case of being underprepared or not anti-stratting the team enough. Maybe they underprepared for Team Secret because there's not much to watch, for one, and also would you prefer to sort of watch some of the other teams that you might face off in playoffs instead? Hard to gauge. And I think even as well, Redgar said that Team Secret, they only started prepping for them 2 days ago, the day of the press conference. So maybe they were expecting less from them, and there's a lot more that Team Secret could come out and show.
I'm going to worry about the fact that if they don't come in strong on this map, regardless of the composition we're about to see, then I have serious, serious worries about their ability to bounce back, short and long term. This is a long tournament, and if you want to make it to the very end, you have to be able to get through your initial opponents.
Uh-oh. We don't have a mirror matchup here this time around. We've got some differences actually.
Killjoy? Okay.
I love my favorite agent.
There you go.
The big change there is that Nats usually plays the Cypher on this map. It's Chronicle that's on the Viper, so they've swapped around. Chronicle playing an agent that we don't typically see. Just because Breeze is so big, the Cypher utility being able to put it across the map is better. Obviously, Killjoy having that range that her utility is good. I imagine Chronicle's going to be setting up on the BRA site and just being very hard to move. Of course, first of all, he needs to be good on attack. That lockdown could be really useful, but the sites are big.
Well, we have found ourselves in a position we never expected to be. It's Team Secret up 1-0 in terms of the map scoreline, but you can never count Gambit out. As we dive into map 2, Breeze, it's back over to Pansy and Hypoc.
Okay, now we have seen a switch up here in that agent select. Now, this, I think Gambit have been forced to show all their cards here. Team Secret have come out and absolutely woken us all up. This is an upset, to say the least. What do you make of the agent switch?
I mean, there's these hints of kind of reinventing themselves and addressing kind of, showing a different look, right? And Gambit, again, being a team, like we said, we talked about the preparation factor is going to be there's a target on their back, right? This is something that's almost like a curveball. Do we see anything special coming out of this Killjoy pick? We'll have to wait and see. But I think Ryan's hit the nail on the head. We're looking towards, particularly on attack, more all-in pieces. Not necessarily that deep flank control we expect of Nats, 10 years away from any sort of execute elsewhere. But I'm intrigued initially.
All right, right back on in. I want to see Secret keep that pace up, though. Not fall away, not slip back, not allow a moment or a second of doubt, but already initial exchange through middle. And this is death matchy between the two, and it is going to be taking chunks out of each other. Losing our wits, though, might take away a little bit of that instigation, ability to maybe find information later down the line, but already it's going to be this B piece. They've got to know that a mile away. So Spike should be going down now. Not going to be denied at this point. A little bit of chip damage on the way out for Redgar.
Yeah, actually, Chronicle did find dubstep as well. That was after that turret was dropped. Now Borkun drifting through elbow. He'll look towards him to remove that piece from B main here as Jesse, a real entryway back here, and Chronicle still stands strong. We'll find his second now. Dispenser solo HP. Jesse falls and cleaned up nicely. Chronicle actually finding his third on the round there towards the end. And again, it's a stark contrast straight away there. Gambit, they feel that pressure in mid. The pinch comes through from elbow at exactly the right time. So already here, looking much better equipped to deal with Secret. But again, Secret looking to be very proactive in that pistol round. Again, straight out double doors, the flash, confirmation of presence. They try and follow up on that.
Enemy mark. And I do want to see more of that. I do want to see them keep that sort of presence up, keep playing like they're not the underdog, which at this point they're not looking so much like. But something as well, I can hear it behind me. Gambit trying to get themselves fired up. They're yelling after pistol rounds. They want to get this one building, and already Defo going to start off with that pick towards dubstep, and Shados going to take a little bit of a step further down towards Tube. Going to clean up Jesse and Wits on routes. But there's not much of an investment. It's classics and not much else coming out from Team Secret, so this should be kept clean. As already looks like pretty much second round will be wrapped up.
So I doubt Borkun's going to get much done here with the classic. Even will clean it up, and decent ultimate progress already on his side. Again, look towards how we're going to see that lockdown utilized with this agent switch. Actually, be a flawless round victory there. Prime Gaming flawless. Again, no respect even there to the recon bolt used in halls. Force their way through. Nats again. Similar approach here now. Secret, first buy round. We see them get proactive. We see them go play a little deeper here, play a little more reactive. Again, you look towards Gambit to make the most of converting these weapons they're carrying across. Defo on the Marshal straight up into halls.
Dubstep. This could be not necessarily make or break, but this can be a huge position to play from if he gets that timing just right. He knows that Shados is around there. He's got to know that Redgar's not far either. Dispenser now is under threat. Nat's going to close the gap, get a little bit of damage done and sit towards the back of the site. Yeah, this is such a different pace from Gambit. When have you seen them hit sites like this? However, Spike yet to be ferried across, still sitting towards main, needs to make its way through, but they haven't really gotten that pick on the way into sight, so this is still pretty rough around the edge. Dispenser connecting out of nowhere. Nats gets beheaded, and now the Spike has made its way through. Flash comes in, Spike goes down, and Dispenser needs to be careful. 7 HP needs some backup now.
Jesse, yeah, got out no man's land there. Defo and Redgar both find kills. Dubstep will respond with 2 though.
Man, gets pinched on though with Shados right there, and you had the window player as well. tricky to work out from a 2v2 post plant though. Rifle still stands back towards the side. Gambit steady the nerves after a shaky map 1. That's 3 now in a row.
Again here, if Gambit can maintain this pace, again, almost, I've been pitching them as kings of the clock almost. This is a completely different look here. Yeah, I mean, 1 minute 15 on site, they found first blood, they've got Nats all the way towards back pillar. It's completely different to what we saw on Icebox. Again, you could argue starting half a factor there, but
sure.
Secret, again, now we look towards kind of the similar questions we had over Gambit. What's the response now? How do we see them address this? Because, again, this is from a preparation standpoint. This isn't necessarily what you'd have down in the notes of Gambit.
But this is the thing, I think that Team Secret have woken the beast, right? They've forced Gambit to maybe play some of these switch-ups, the pace changes that maybe they were looking to bring out later in the tournament, maybe feeling they could get through groups playing as expected, but that's not the case. They've had to bring out a higher level of planned approach, and that's looking sharp as ever. We do have just Sheriffs and some light armor though, so again, this isn't the be-all and end-all. Twits, let's see what you can do with this. That's lovely, but that's about it. So 3 still stand, Rifles kept over, and Gambit just striding through this.
You see here is how many different looks we will see from Gambit. And that first ultimate cycle just about coming online now again. Towards the lockdown, Ryan's going to be have his eyes peeled for how Gambit are going to utilize that, but I just saw Nats one away from the Viper's pit again. Potential there to find entry, get that set up for a comfortable post-plant hold. No real adjustment here on the side of Secret. Other than Dubstep now on the operator, he's going to be tasked with holding on to halls. But again, first round he's got it. He's smoked off straight away on the doors. Again, Shados and Nats immediately showing presence. Try and find something behind that poison orb.
I have found Nats at present. Shados though going to just push on forward. Again, it's so much space taken. Just down tube. And look at the lean. It's a 4-1 coming out at this point from Secret. They've had to sit towards this side. 3 dedicated towards the side, and it is Dubstep who's had to respect that utility and presence down tube. However, Defo does find Dispenser. Wits is now going to be taken away. This is not looking so good for Secret. This is methodical from Gambit. This is the Iron Giant we've been seeing and waiting to see activated. As Jesse, 20 HP and a bit of a dream at this point, and a 1v4. As Gambit looking quite sharp. Jesse going to try and hunt this down, but it's looking unlikely.
Plant comes through, and Jesse tasked with finding any damage he can. Conical already made moves up elsewhere. He's pinned in here. Again, with that HP, don't expect him to pull off any miracles, and although Gambit even give him the opportunity to find one. Let's see, Defo will straight through. Nat's good for the trade. Everybody had an input there on that round, and 3 survive. Again, Defo, one off the Blaze Storm now. First ultimate cycle looking very comfortable for Gambit because they're not really having to rely on an awful lot. I mean, that round effectively on the back of a poison orb in Hall. That pressure draws Secret towards A site. And one by one, like you said, methodical. Gambit just roll through them.
There's got to be something to address this soon because Gambit just, as I said, they are walking through this at the moment, and this looks like a whole different team from map 1. Be it the wake-up call, be it a bit of a slap in the face. This Team Secret forcing this level out of Gambit right now. Dubstep unable to find much here. That's Shados with a belting start. Defo's already started his proposition towards the site. Chasing him down. There it is. And Defo, yeah, can't be stuffed. This is again, though, a poor purchase because the money, well, it's just been ripped away. Look how clean these rounds have been. It's a Prime Gaming flawless, and a lot of these rounds have been leaning that way. Now, yes, the odds are coming through at least for Secret, so maybe we could see something of that. But again, this has been one-sided.
Yeah, much of the start of Icebox was.
Yeah. Yep.
How much we read into that here, again, I'm looking towards Secret to make a visible adjustment here. But again, they've got to kind of have that factor. This isn't a prep thing. Gambit playing way quicker than we traditionally see them.
Yeah.
So again, it's a completely new set of obstacles for Secret to overcome. Again, first map I was looking towards Redguard to be the one to, I guess, respond to what Secret brought to the table.
Yeah.
and he struggled. This time around, it's a completely different approach. Totally different approach to this map.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of where we were waiting to see if Gambit have this. Is that next gear to shift to? And what they've been up to in that time in between, right? We've seen a couple of weird events from them that didn't look great, if I'm honest. A couple of losses against teams to a fashion that definitely stood out, at least statistically. But the problem is for Secret, if you've prepped yourself for, let's say,